Yo, how you living? How you feeling? How you doing today? Okay, it is First Choice Fantasy. Be back. We got Mr. Cameron Cutlass in the building over there with the draft. Say what's up, Cam.
What's going on, guys? Cam McCullough's here. My buddy Giraffe, living well.
He's a betting expert over there. That's what Cam Cutlass here for. So today, speaking of which, we're gonna dive into some team win total lines for the year, some betting for the NFL season. We might we have like three per each person, so we're just gonna dive into those after the intro. And I guess if anybody has any words, speak now.
No words.
Forever hold
Alex,
your peace.
no words for him
Nothing.
either.
All right, I guess we'll just cut to the intro now.
I said, baby, I am not the one to play with. Ain't the type to give up, I'm driven and motivated. I just want some recognition and some compensation. But this ain't about the money and it ain't about the fame. I got lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out.
And we back. I don't know if that was, but we're back, and let's just disclaimer real quick. We got these odds and the lines and whatnot from FanDuel, Sportsbook on FanDuel. You can app, download it, look at it. A lot of different lines over there. Pretty spectacular lines, if I do say so myself. But
Receiving yard.
hey, receiving yards, that's a questionable one. But I guess we'll just dive in head first. We'll go one at a time, and I'll go first with the Saints over 10.5 wins. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it's plus 100. Let me pull up their schedule real quick just to make sure, just to actually just speak my mind on it because it's pretty fucking cakey when I looked at it. But they play the Buccaneers week one. I don't expect them to lose the Buccaneers week one. I get the Buccaneers, revamped and whatnot, but it's first game together. Saints got that. Raiders, easy dub. Packers, Lions, Chargers, Panthers. Bears might be a troubling one, but I don't believe it. They might split with the Buccaneers, so I think they might win like 12-plus games this year. I think 10 and a half wins. If they just get 11. I mean, all they got to do to cover. It's pretty beautiful to me. I also believe Drew Brees and just the entire Saints offense this year is going to be spectacular like they were last year, but I think to another degree, and I think they're Super Bowl champions. Let me just put that on the line real quick. But that's my opinion. Any words on the Saints, boys?
Fuck this thing.
Fuck the Saints. We got
It's
a pure
valid.
Eagles fan. It is not valid. I don't think so, but I guess we'll just hop into the next person's first choice with his Cam Cutlass is here.
Yeah, so I got the Falcons going over 7.5 wins. I think they're going to do it fairly easy. I mean, they don't really have to even play that well to reach it. They're going to start off a little rough, I think. They got the Seahawks, the Cowboys, the Packers, and they're three of their first 4 games. Getting one win there in the Bears game, week 3. And then I think they're going to reel off a stretch of 5 wins in a row and go off to finish 6-3 by the time their bye hits in week 10. They're going to finish off a little sketchy, though. But, again, it doesn't really matter for hitting over 7.5. They have a tougher schedule. Week 11, they face the Saints. The Raiders are going to get a dub, I think. Saints again. I think that's 2 losses. Saints are going to be too good this year. The Chargers and the Bucks, 14-15. I think that's 2 wins. And then the Chiefs and the Bucks, I think that's 2 losses. The Bucks, I think they're going to win at home. They're going to be okay this year. So finishing off 9-7, easy over 7.5.
What do you think? You think the Falcons might grab the last wild card spot? 3 teams in the playoffs in that division? That'd be wild.
I forgot about the playoff change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a high possibility, but I think the NFC is going to be too good for a 9-win team to reach it, honestly.
That's fair.
Is it 1 extra team or like 2 extra teams? It's just 1, right?
I think it's just 1, yeah. So it's 3 wild card spots. It's definitely close in my opinion. I mean, with that, as you said, the Saints are going to be pretty nice this year. Would you co-sign that Saints over 10.5 wins this year?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that's a give-me pick.
Word.
As long as Drew Brees stays healthy again, though, because they don't have Teddy back there anymore.
Yeah.
Well, they got Jameis, actually, so it doesn't even matter. So I think,
Sure.
yeah, I think they're for sure.
I think the Falcons, they could get 7.5. I mean, over 7.5. I'm kind of questioning it just because that defense is sketchy. I mean, not like they had anybody last year and they lost the people that they did have, notable players.
Well, they've just been getting killed with injuries real bad the past few years. So I think that's going to turn around a little bit. And that offense is steady. And Calvin Ridley continues to grow. So I think it's going to be real good for him.
I agree. Guess we'll dive into the next person's first choice. We got Mr. Alex. Let's hear it.
Me and Brandon are both doing this one. We're taking the Cardinals.
Mm.
Yeah.
All about that offense is going to put up some fucking points. I don't even care what their defense does.
You think their offense is going to put up points like that, huh?
They got
Absolutely.
receivers for days, or at least enough of them that it matters. They should have a good running back. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that
My
team.
one question is, you both have the Cardinals over 7.5, obviously, at
Yeah.
minus 110 odds. Okay, so they have 8 wins at least in your guys' eyes. What are the
Yeah.
chances you guys think that they take second place or even first place in the division from the 49ers or the Seahawks?
I don't think they're going to win the division, but I think they can scratch out 8 wins.
No shot.
I think they can compete. I mean, they picked up Isaiah Simmons through the draft, and he's expected to perform from day one. And that's basically an inside linebacker like he is. That's basically the quarterback on the defense. And the Cardinals are no longer going to have trouble guarding tight ends. I would hope at least not as much as last year. Cardinals are no longer going to be that team where you're looking for that in the free agency, trying to find a backup tight end to even play against them and hope for the best.
Sure, yeah, streaming and whatnot, but
Like, that right there, I mean,
I don't know, man. I'm still skeptical on the Cardinals in general. Like, I know I've talked about DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not too high on this year, so I don't expect, like, that offense to really take off just yet. I mean, they might find their stride, like, late in the season or whatnot, but I feel like eight wins is a little too steep, in my opinion, maybe. But, I mean, I don't see them having any chance of beating the Seahawks in the division or coming over the 49ers. I think they're solid in third place of the division, possibly even fourth. I mean, don't forget about the Rams. Let's be real about that. That division over there is pretty nice in my opinion. So I wouldn't bank on them getting 8 wins.
I would agree with you just because of the division as well. But taking a look at their schedule, they've got some pretty easy games. They got Washington week 2, Detroit, Carolina, Jets, Dolphins, Bills. They're winnable games. I don't think 8's too far of a stretch.
yeah.
Giants.
That's fair.
And Ed, you said earlier, even if the offense still is a little laggy at first, they got easy dubs right there.
That is
I
true.
don't think
Beginning.
Year to year,
Yeah.
you can look at the schedule this time of year and say, like, oh, they got 5 cakewalk wins here. They're going to lose these 3 games because, like, statistically, that's not how it works.
No, you're
I mean,
correct
you
about
look at
that.
the team-
But
Doesn't
You look at
really
the
have-
Jets. I mean, come on now. The Jets, the Dolphins. Like, you got to look at those. That's like the Browns the past 3 years.
I'm not saying they're going to be the teams of the past, but they're
It's
still
gonna
beatable
influence.
teams. They're not. There's no getting around that. They're beatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still going to influence your decision on making bets like
Yeah,
these. You got to look back in the
I-
past and not just be like, oh, well, this is going to happen.
I didn't even look at the schedules before doing this.
Yeah, I didn't either. But for conversation's sake, it's a good topic to take a look at. The Cardinals, I mean, easy cakewalk schedule. So
Really do. Yeah. I mean, I take my statement back. That I didn't know about their schedule, but I take that into having consideration, all honestly. But I guess you guys are both wrong with Cardinals for your first choice, so I guess we can hop into second choice. And speaking of the Jets, piss poor team. I don't know if you guys seen. I mean, I sent it to Alex and Brandon. The first team offense of the Jets. I think they turned it over or something like that. They didn't score on like 4 drives against the backup defense on the team. But then the backup offense came in, and they just rode down the field in the starting defense of the Jets. It's so sad. It's super sad. I have the Jets under 6.5 wins this year. I think it's pretty easy. I mean, the odds say so as well. Minus 130, that's almost like a guarantee in my eyes, possibly. But you have the Dolphins, the division, who also aren't good, but I just like the culture they're building in general over there and the players that they did get. The offense looked decent last year at times. The defense, obviously, spotty. I mean, it's Miami, but New England's kind of coming down from their high horse, in my opinion, and the Bills are coming up, but I just see the Jets not really being able to scrape more than 6 wins this year, especially with that division.
I agree.
And Adam Gase is the head coach. I don't think he can guarantee anything.
That alone guarantees it for me. Mark it.
That's right.
Yeah, he's on his way out after this year, probably.
Thank God. I hope.
I would hope.
I hope he stays. I hope he's there forever.
But it's an AFC team. Send him over to Dallas. Let's get that.
Yeah.
for me.
I don't think he should have a job. Not at least as a head coach. He needs to go back to the coordinator position or something, man.
It should make him a GM.
That Kalen Balazs trade was also a comedy to me. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He's about to get released, and then oh yeah, we'll give you a pick for him. But I mean, it's conditional, so I mean, and he probably
Yeah,
you never know who's going to pick him up on the waiver wire, but still, it was comical.
Didn't he average like 1 yard per carry with Miami or some shit like
yeah,
that?
1.7 I think it was lowest ever, I believe, on a certain amount of carries. It's despicable. Very despicable. I seen the I don't know if you guys follow Pro Football Chase on Instagram. They posted it was like update Kalen Balazs getting traded to the Jets, and then Kenyon Drake commented. It was like, yes sir. Like, why are you saying yes sir? First of all, terrible player. Second of all, he's going in a terrible situation. Third of all, I mean, I would much rather be in Miami than be in New York with Adam Gase. I don't know why he's yes sirring that when he dealt with Adam Gase for 3 years of his career, but yeah, I have the Jets under 6.5 wins. Easy money bet on that. So I guess we can hop into number 2, Mr. Cam.
So another easy money one. I think the Cowboys are going over 9.5. In a very putrid NFC East. I don't think that the Eagles are going to be really doing a ton this year. Injuries just keep piling up for them, and they have for the past 4 years. I mean, you could almost bet on the fact that 2 or 3 more key players are going to end up going down by the time week 6 hits. So I don't really think they're going to be much of a competition. The Cowboys, they do have a stiffer schedule, I will say. I mean, they got the Rams, Falcons, Seahawks to start off. Then they go easy again with the Browns, Giants, Cardinals, Skins. So, I mean, I have them finishing 12-4, gone way over 9.5.
That's valid. I mean, I have them winning the division. I see them as a dark horse Super Bowl winning team, but 10 wins I think is pretty valid, in all honesty. Obviously, the odds of being minus 160 is definitely
it's one of the best odds you see on there.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we continuously hype this team up literally every year. Tell me who they have on defense.
You're right. You are correct about that. But their offense is just going to be a juggernaut. They're going to put up like 28, 30 points per game easy. Dak Prescott struggles at times, especially in big situations. With these better teams, you never know. But I think they're a give me.
Matters this year.
That's the concern for me. Because last year, Cowboys had they could make the playoffs, and they completely botched it. And I'm taking it off of, like, the experience. I don't know if it's experience or just clutch. Like, they just are missing something. And whether or not that's the head coach, Garrett's gone, so you bring in McCarthy, hope for the best. And I think the Cowboys got the weapon. You gotta. In this situation, I think it would be the coach. So I'm thinking the best. I'm thinking, well, the Cowboys, their offense, they're a juggernaut. They got the players, and they can manage on defense and be a playoff winning team. So I agree.
Yeah, I didn't touch on the McCarthy thing. I think that's going to be huge because Jason Garrett, he made a lot of questionable decisions in key moments for him. So I think that's going to be a huge factor.
What McCarthy was in New England, in Green Bay, like, people wanted him ran out of Green Bay. Like, the joke
they also had
after
a peak,
what,
like
8 years?
they also had a peak like Garrett never really had in Dallas.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, anyone's better than Jason Garrett. Like, they could hire Jordan Shepard, and it would probably be an improvement. But, like, a couple of years ago, we were all talking about how Mike McCarthy was ruining Aaron Rodgers' prime. Now, without an off-season program, he's just going to shoot this team through the field.
I hate to be this guy, but is there any chance that maybe everybody's just too high on Aaron Rodgers and maybe he's just ruining his own prime?
Oh, I think he's overrated, but that's a story.
I mean, if you talked to me 2 years ago, Aaron Rodgers was the GOAT. Aaron Rodgers was the GOAT to me 2 years ago. But then just, like, seeing him fall off and just realizing that, like, he hasn't really done anything, kind of like, okay, let me take that back. Like, Tom Brady definitely has shown what he's done. Aaron Rodgers has shown what his talent he has, but he's never, like, maybe he lacks the clutch or something like that. I don't know.
I agree with what you said. Like 2-3 years ago, he was amazing, but I think he's taken a few steps back. And the team has taken about 6 steps back in how they've gone about supporting him.
It's true. Yeah.
I've never seen the Aaron Rodgers hype that he gets talking and being a GOAT. I don't think he's in the GOAT conversation. I think he's a very good quarterback. You'll see that in later discussions that we have, but I've never seen his hype as a GOAT. I don't see where that's validated. He hasn't come close to 5,000 throwing yard seasons very much, and he hasn't come close to even. I think I was looking over the stats earlier. The last time he got even 45 was 2016, and then he got hurt 2017, and he's been down in the 62% throwing rate since then, and he's been pretty average. I don't see him as a GOAT.
I mean, the reason why I see him as a GOAT was just pure talent. Like, yeah, the eye test to me was everything.
God, motherfuckers up. Like, there was no stop Brian Aaron Rodgers.
It's beautiful to watch. Maybe the stats didn't say so or reflect the case that I have for him.
At his peak, he might have been the greatest quarterback to ever play in any given game, but as a career, no.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's pass over on this. I guess it was Cowboy talk, wasn't it? We went to Cowboys to Aaron Rodgers. All right, let's hop into Alex's second choice.
I'm going with the Texans because I don't see Deshaun Watson only getting 7 wins. And, like,
Valid.
Brian might be, like, the worst GM to ever GM in the NFL. Probably an exaggeration, but maybe it's not. But, like, I think he can still somewhat kind of coach a little bit. Now, Belichick will pull his pants down every now and then, but they don't play the Patriots 16 times. So I got my guy Deshaun getting at least 10, not at least 10 wins, at least 8 wins. I don't give a shit about their defense.
The defense definitely questionable, but I mean, with the players they have over there on the offense, plus like the offensive line, just
yeah, they ought to have enough offensive talent to scrape out 8 wins. What did they go like 10-6 last year?
I believe so. Yeah. It was just scary to me. They like barely got to the playoffs. Like, wait, they didn't get to the playoffs, did they?
No,
they did. They beat the Patriots.
They beat the Bills. Then they got spanked by the Chiefs.
Who were the Titans scraping with to get in the wild card? Was it the Colts?
And the Patriots regular season.
The Colts were one of them, yeah. I think the Colts, like, they were 7-9, so I think they dropped out a little earlier.
Regardless, I mean, the Texans is definitely possible. I just think that the Titans, like, as a team, as a whole, is pretty good in that division. Plus, I mean, the Colts, I have high hopes for the Colts this year. Wow. What was that?
I don't at all.
I don't like Phillip Rivers that much, but
he's washed.
He is washed, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, unless he takes a serious turnaround, because that dude that was playing with the Chargers last year was terrible.
It's true. I mean, he does have an offensive line now. Let's be real about that one. Think about that. And you got a running back who I think was probably one of the most talented in the draft. What was that?
Is that going to keep him from sailing every ball up the middle to the free safety?
It might, man. It might. You never know. Plus, I mean, Michael Pittman, I like Michael Pittman a lot. And if they use him in the slot, I mean, it's a pretty big target for him. I mean, the weapons there aren't as great as they were with L.A., but the defense, I think, is up there on par with the Chargers they had in L.A. In L.A. And, I mean, the coaching, I think that's going to be the big improvement from the Chargers to the Colts this year. But, I don't know. The Texans over 7.5 wins is kind of to me. I guess that's why it's minus 105. But
I can't see them only – like, I just can't see them doing 7-9.
That's fair.
Like, Deshaun Watson is really good.
He's really good.
Although Bill Bryan might just trade him at the trade deadline. So.
He might just trade him for, like, A.J. McCarron or something, unless he's on the roster. I don't know. All right. We can dive into Brandon's second choice right here. Let's hear it, Mr. Brand.
Patriots. I'm taking the under at 9.5 games.
I thought about that one.
I just had to. I had to.
Very angry if they managed to win 10 games next year.
I'd be angry and confused. Personally, I'm very low on Cam Newton. So that's a huge factor that goes into this. I think he's washed. I think what talent he once had was magnificent and great, but now I don't think he's able to stay healthy. He's taken a workload of a running back throughout his career. So, that's a beating on one man's body. Let's be honest. And I don't think like last year only 2 games. He went 0-2. Year before that, 14 games he played, 6-8, losing record below 500. I mean, when he plays 16 games, this is what I mean: magnificent and great. He is at a 11-5 record, not rated. So I don't think he's going to stay healthy. I hope the best for the Patriots because, I mean, they were the best for so long. Not really. I don't really want that. But maybe that's those feelings going into this. But I think it's a solid bet to take.
I've kind of come back to earth on the Cam Newton train. I mean,
I was waiting for that.
yeah.
I know you
took
would.
time.
I know
It
you
took
would.
some time.
I knew
I mean,
it.
sometimes you have to stick your neck out there and see how it feels. And you
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
try to
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like,
Can we talk
the
about?
weapons? Go ahead.
Actually, you know what? No, never mind. Go ahead. Get through the Cam Newton debate first.
The weapons that the Patriots have are very questionable. I don't know if you guys have seen the reports coming out. N'Keal Harry just like taking snaps off because he wants to, and then he goes kneels over by a light pole or something like that. They were looking for him, and Demir Bird had to take a spot. Yeah, it was very, very weird. He's being weird, and it's just
Solid work.
Cam Newton's first year,
Just
another
looking
offense.
out and then nothing.
He just comes off the plane. He's like,
N'Keal
I'm
Harry's
tired.
nickname is Doughboy.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Cam Newton calls him. Is
That
Doughboy.
is different.
Wow.
Is Doe what? Say that again.
Doughboy.
Doughboy.
Like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
That's not good.
That's
not
not
Maybe
good,
this is
yeah.
what the Patriots are wanting us to think.
I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
Sitting there kneeling, looking off at
He
the
said it
field.
has nothing to do with him being soft. That's what he said. That's what the interview said, but I don't believe it, man. That's kind of Pillsbury Doughboy. Come on now.
If it's not being soft, then it has to be physique. And you had Kelvin Benjamin on your team before, and you didn't call him Doughboy, but you call this man Doughboy. I mean, it's definitely questionable.
Can we also talk about how half their defense has already opted out of the season?
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Both McCourty twins,
Yeah.
off the top of my head, Patrick Chung, aren't they missing like a line?
That's huge.
Hightower. Literally
Yeah,
half
Hightower.
their starting defense is already sitting out. If Gilmore leaves, this team might struggle to win 6 games.
The team's probably telling everyone, like, hey, listen, this is going to be an off year. If you guys want to
we'll
take
be back next year
a year
when we get
off,
Trevor Lawrence.
go ahead. Cam Newton's going to lead us to
2 wins.
Two
first
wins.
pick in the draft, and then we'll be fine.
Yeah,
Come
then
back,
everyone's
healthy.
going to opt back in with Trevor
Mhm.
Lawrence, and they're going to resume winning Super Bowls. This
It's
is
all right in front of
Jack's
us. We just
grand
got to
plan.
look at it and, come on.
That's fair. I'm with it.
It's going to happen.
Obviously, the odds also say that the Patriots most likely to go under 9.5 wins with minus 160 odds, which is also notable.
Oh, and this is just the icing on the cake. They have the worst ranked schedule next year. So
For who?
the Patriots.
Like from who?
Yeah, it won't bear out that way.
NFL.com.
I'm trying, but when it's all said and done, they
wait.
could end up having one of the easiest schedules.
CBS Sports.
CBS Sports.
Yeah,
That's fair.
has the Patriots at, and just imagine all years past, he's always easiest schedule for the Patriots.
It's true. Yeah.
And then now they have an excuse. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the Patriots are sitting there, Belichick's still sitting there getting paid. Just like, yep, we have an excuse.
Adam
Nothing
Gates.
you can do about it.
Yeah.
No,
All right, you guys
Belichick's
ready?
going to come out and draft some random quarterback next year that no one's ever heard of, and it's going to work for him. But he's not going to get Lawrence, I don't think, just because Belichick's Belichick. He's got some sort of plan cooking up.
Well,
See,
who
though,
knows?
that's
Maybe
the thing.
Stidham
Like you
is
said, I think
the
he's smart enough
no-name
to see, like, wait a minute, maybe we can just win 2 games, get like Lawrence or Fields or that other dude from Trey something out of North Dakota
Lance.
State. Like,
I mean, if he sees that the hype is fit, sure. But you never know with Bill. I wouldn't be surprised if it's some random dude.
Yeah.
There's this dude, Mason Fine, from not North Dakota. It was like North Texas State or something like that. There was like a lot of hype coming out about him because like he's not fully developed as like a like thrower, I guess you could say, but like his game management skills and whatnot are pretty refined. And the Saints brought him in as an undrafted free agent, and then there was talk about him going to the Patriots, which I mean, it makes sense as a a game manager, as Tom Brady was. He wasn't an excellent arm talent coming out of college and whatnot, but I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see next year. So I guess we'll dive into the third one, which me and Brandon, we both share our third team win total. The Chargers going under 8 wins. I think it's pretty self-explanatory on my part. Tyrod Taylor, questionable defense. Questionable offense as well. Mike Williams is out a few weeks. You got, who's the number 3 there? Jalen Guyton, some dude who is probably another decoy like Andre Patton was last year.
You mean that guy that played every snap and didn't get a single target?
Exactly, that guy.
Love that guy. That's my favorite NFL player.
He's
just out there.
Yeah. Brandon, let's hear your explanation for the Chargers under 8 wins.
It's simple. I don't have confidence in the quarterback play. I don't got confidence in the line that they have. And they lost some key play. Melvin Gordon was effective when used correctly. Depending on what you think of Austin Eckler, I think he's going to be great. But, do you lose some of that threat that Eckler had, and will it affect the offense and the way it runs? And also with the negative thoughts on the quarterbacks, I thought it's 8 wins. I don't see it happening. So I take that.
The only case in which I would be kind of so-so on this choice, I'm kind of like dedicated to it, but if I was so-so on it, it would be Justin Herbert starting week 1 and starting the season, because I'm intrigued to see what this man's going to do. He's not as hyped up, obviously, as Tua and Joe Burrow, and obviously he's not as talented as those two, but there's been players like Patrick Mahomes who've gotten drafted in the mid-first round and just
Wouldn't
haven't had
that
the hype.
scare you more than Taylor playing the whole season?
No,
sorry. Wouldn't Taylor playing the whole season scare you more than Herbert starting? Taylor's led teams to he led the Bills to the playoffs, and that Bills team had a lot less offensive talent than this one.
I get what you're saying, but I think it's the intrigue of the questionable, I guess you could say, with Justin Herbert, which with Tyrod Taylor, I never really liked him as a quarterback. Fantasy purposes is cool, but as far as leading a team, I never really liked it or been intrigued by it.
If I was betting the under, I would hope that Herbert gets in early and just hope that he struggles as a rookie. I don't think he's Mahomes. He was kind of game manager-esque in college. He looks like this big, your prototypical, makes everyone horny quarterback that's very tall and, has all the physical traits, but he doesn't necessarily play like it.
Trubisky?
In the sense that Trubisky, I think he sucks more than he's just boring. But I guess you could make the case either way.
All right, well, that's where I stand with the Chargers, under 8 wins. So let's dive into Cam's third one, and then we got Alex's after that.
I got the Eagles coming in at under 9.5 wins. It hurts. I'm a diehard Birds fan, but you got to come to amends with it pretty early on sometimes.
No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to start off real rough for us. I think week 1 at the Washington football team, I think that defensive line is going to get to us. I don't think it's going to work out well. I think we're going to take a loss.
Oh.
That would hurt.
That pains me to hear an Eagles fan.
Not going to happen.
You can't roll your eyes like that. Remember last year, week 1 versus Washington, we almost took an L and took a few Deshaun Jackson 80-yard bombs to get us back.
Now we got 2 of them.
We're going to end up being the laughingstock of the NFL if we lose to Washington week 1. Let's be real.
We'll see. But I guess that's my bold prediction of this. It's going to be real bad. I think we're starting off 1-5.
Oh, God.
No way.
Damn.
There's no way.
Yeah, there is a way.
I'll bet you anything right now that we don't start 1-5.
Okay. I would be very happy to. I'm telling you, I friggin' love the Birds, but I think it's going to be rough. I'm not loving what I'm hearing. That offensive line is going to be pretty bad to start off the year. It's going to be pretty bad.
I don't think it has to be. Peters can slide back over to left tackle. Matt Pryor can play a solid right guard. He played didn't he play in all 16 games?
And he was out every single play. Did you not watch the games? He
misses a snap every now and then.
He would be out of the fourth quarter. He would be out of the whole fourth quarter. The next game he's fine for 2 quarters, And
That
then he's
happened like
out.
twice.
Whatever.
They got a deep
I don't know
team.
about
They can
that.
coach. It'll be fine. Remember, they won a Super Bowl with some dude named Halaputi Vaitai.
Vaitai just got what $40 million from the Lions.
50, which was about 45 too much.
Debatable.
Absolutely.
But
that
it's
was
just
a
gonna.
bad contract.
The reason I say 1-5 is just because the toughness of the schedule. I mean, let's be real. We probably won't lose to Washington, but I could just see it. I can
I'm
see
there
it.
with you.
So, and then we got LA week 2, and then we got Bengals. I think that's a win. But then it's the Niners, Steelers, Ravens. That's a tough stretch right there. And then I think we're going to bounce back with a nice stretch. Divisional games, Giants home versus the Cowboys, at the Giants again, and then the Browns. And then we got the Seahawks, Packers, Saints. Another tough stretch. That's a little brutal right there. And then you got the Cardinals, which beatable team, and Cowboys and Washington. So all in all, I got them finishing 7-9.
I think they're too
It
volatile a
hurts.
team
It
for
hurts.
me to bet on.
Yeah, they are. They are a very volatile team, and
I feel
might
like
be a
they
little
could go anywhere between 6-10 and like 13-3.
I don't know about that.
I can't see 13-3 this year. I can't. Usually
I mean,
I can.
I could see
I'm
it.
a real.
Oh, I could see it in the same way that I don't think they're going to go 6-10, but I acknowledge it as a possibility.
Yeah, we just got those stretches of games that are going to be too brutal for us to maybe 11-5 is best case scenario.
I don't know about that.
Like 9-7, best case scenario, honestly.
Yeah, so
Bro,
yeah,
you were
honestly.
way too down on them.
I'm not. I'm just. I mean, if I'm.
They
down
got
on
a
them,
franchise
I'm
quarterback. They might have weapons for him, a couple more. They might. Again, that's why they're volatile.
Yeah, I like the young wide receivers that we have. That's not the issue here. The issue is we have one big play cornerback, and then we got Maddox behind him. But then Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas are reportedly having horrible camps.
They suck. They're not going to be in the game.
So I mean, and then we have Jalen Mills back there at safety. I mean, Will
Roby
Parks
Coleman.
was a good signing. I think what's his name?
McLeod
From Clemson. What the heck's his name? Kevon Wallace. I think he's going to be pretty decent.
I think their defense starts with the defensive line.
But
and
then
if Hargrave and Malik Jackson
Hargrave
are healthy,
is hurt right now. Hargrave is reported to
that's what I'm
miss
saying.
significant time. And then Derek Barnett as well. That's an issue.
Barnett's not good.
He's
I like Barnett. Come on.
Do that.
Don't
Bro,
say
you're going to
that,
sit here and tell
Alex.
me Barnett is a stud?
No,
I don't
I'm not
know
saying
defense
stud.
like that, but when
I'm
I've
just
seen,
saying,
He's like an average
I see
defensive
flashes.
end.
I see flashes, and
Yeah, and then he
my
takes like a
Eagles
15-yard
love
penalty
hope
literally
alive.
every game.
You're right.
He's a fucking
he does.
moron.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like, he jumps off
But so
sides.
is Jason Peters. He does that all the time, and
He has talent, though.
he's
I wouldn't be
back and
surprised
good.
if he's a Brandon Graham type and he turns it on in his later years because he has talent.
I mean, I don't know if Brandon Graham really turned it on his
wasn't-
later years as much as he just stopped getting hurt.
Really?
And
he
his
was
rookie
getting
also
labeled as
been
bust
hurt.
friggin' first 3 years in.
That's
and he
because
was-
Billy Davis tried to use him as an outside linebacker because Billy Davis was the stupidest person I've ever met, and I never met the guy.
Well, for whatever the reasoning may be, he wasn't really producing as much as he has been in the last few years.
He just got hurt. He had some serious injuries.
I'm not excited for the Eagles yet this year.
No.
I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but
I'm excited to watch him, of course. Always will be, but I don't think the results are going to be great. But we can move on now.
Alex, let's hear your last one here.
I'm going to take the Bills to at least win 9 games because they won 10 last year. Defense should be solid. Offense should be solid. They added. Patriots subtracted. The Jets are the Jets.
The Dolphins are the Dolphins. Kick for that one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the Dolphins are the Dolphins because the Dolphins could be like annoying next year like they were last year. But like you got the Jets, that's 2 wins. So I basically just need them to win 7 out of 14. Can they go 500 and beat the Jets twice? Yes, I think they can.
I mean, that's a crazy line in my eyes. 8.5 wins for the Bills. Who, I mean, I think they're winning the division. I bet on that.
Yeah, I mean, like I saw that and I was like, well, I got to put that one in there. They just went 10-6, and like they're the biggest competitor in their division took a significant step back, probably. And it's not like the Bills went like and had a fire sale.
Yeah.
Josh Allen maybe gets a little bit better. They added a good receiver for him. Like I thought they had a solid offseason.
Add another running back
as long
too.
as
Yeah, they added Zach Moss. I think could be a pretty good addition for them.
What are you
Still
saying,
got
Cam?
defense.
as
Huh?
long as Josh Allen doesn't digress at all, I think that's an easy one. I think the Bills are going to have a pretty potent offense. Yeah, they were already running the ball heavy last year. Josh Allen had 9 touchdowns. I think that's going to be a fall off, of course, with the addition of Zach Moss. But yeah, I think they're going to have a pretty potent offense with the addition of Stephon Diggs and John Brown.
The defense is known to be solid.
And yeah, the defense is always pretty solid. So I think
Tre'Davious White ain't going nowhere.
Big fact. Big fact.
Go Bills.
Well, I guess that marks the end of this episode. The team win totals, the over-unders, the lines, we each got 3 teams, yada, yada, yada. So next video, we're going to dive into positional leader props for passing yards and rushing yards. Sadly, FanDuel Sportsbooks doesn't have receiving yards, so go watch that video after you're done this or maybe 2 days after or whatnot. So, yeah, without further ado, Cam, say adios to the audience.
See you, fellas. Giraffe says bye.
Trash says bye. All right, like, comment, subscribe, share. First Choice Fantasy out.
Later, everybody.